Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Night Eternal Expedition Challenge. I'm Doc28, and with me is I'm So Bad. And we have the semifinals coming up. Our match is between Prackalakin on Combray Aggro and Stormguard798 on Rakano Aggro. I'm So Bad. Do you have any thoughts on this match?
I have tried to predict these matches before, and I used to say it was in favor of the Cambrai because I thought it would be really good into Rakano, but Rakano has just been king of the hill for so long that without looking too deeply, I am going to say Rakano is favored here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a little biased. I really like Rakano. I do not like to bet against it. I like the build that Stormguard brought because it is, our team's build for the most part. Um, so that's where my allegiance play. Um, my allegiances lie. But I mean, I think Prackalakin's got a real shot too. I definitely don't see it as lopsided, particularly. In particular, like Dinosaur Nest, Desert Marshal. Um, those will really play a big role in this match, I think.
I think my favorite part about this matchup is that we're not in it for the long haul. This is going to be fast and furious, and we're going to see some action.
Hopefully, yeah. No, I love it when matches games fast paced. It makes it really exciting for sure. Though I will say, for all the control stands out there, I also like long drawn out control games. But there's pros and cons to both. There's something to like about almost any game. I feel like.
Oh, endless steps. Wow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Endless steps. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is a one of. So this is very similar to the list that we played at the Open. Essentially, we had one of, or at least I had one of Gem Laser Cannon, and I think Storm had two. I'm guessing that he cut the two Gem Blazers for one Endless Steps and one Finest Hour.
Interesting. The one of finest hour. And is that just because you want a card that people have to play around, but you weren't comfortable with four copies of it? Or
Well, so I think there's kind of a couple levels to it. There's the thinking that um, Finest Hour has its moments where it's really good and its moments where it's not good. But having one in there in an open deck list format does put it into your opponent's mind. Um, so that it can affect blocks and attacks in certain situations. The other thing is just like it does work well with the deck, and there's only so much room, right? Like this version's playing three Olin, it looks like. You have four Lunar Claw, and all that stuff going on. So it's kind of there's not quite room for everything. Uh, so space is limited.
absolutely. I mean, Rakano just has so much power, right? Now you get to pick and choose your pieces as to before you were kind of just scraping together what was playable.
Right. No. Yeah. Exactly. So on this board, so it looks like Storm has two Iron Priestesses, and they're going for a Varbrook. I like this. Means you can potentially torch the Tyraius next turn, and you have a Charger. You think is there any reason you would want, if you were Prackalakin, that you would want to trade the Tyraius with Varbrook?
No, I think the extra units that it creates is probably good enough to just try and race. You don't know that your opponent is going to torch, um, and so it looks
Right.
pretty
Oh my
close
gosh.
racing
Oh
back.
my gosh.
Wow,
The top deck.
what a draw! That
Wow.
second Varbuck is just so much extra pressure.
That's so much pressure. Oh my gosh. That's brutal. Wow. My good. Varbrook, what a card. What a card.
All right, so if you're in Praxi, I guess you can't even attack with these paladins anymore. You're just on the defense game. But how do you hold
Yep.
all this stuff back? It seems difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think assuming, let me look at Praxis real quick, but I think Stormguard might just have
Yeah.
given Prax, yeah, determine lethal, right? You like torch face and then Helena, but it looks like Prac is competing, and that's game one going to Stormguard798.
And
That was a commanding performance.
if you blinked, I'm
Wow.
sorry, but you might have missed it. That
I know,
was
right?
that was a quick one.
Yeah, that happened in a blink of an eye for sure. And Varbrook really just like showcased itself right there. Like, what a card!
Yeah, the first Barbuck, all it did was take down an Aegis, and obviously did some damage. But that second one off the top, what a huge swing!
Yeah, that was so brutal. My goodness.
All right, so if you're in Prax seat and you have just seen that beating in game one, what are you thinking about doing to try and let the game go a little longer?
The game go a little longer. I'm not sure if I would, make it as simple as that. I think Prackalakin does need to be somewhat proactive, play to the board quickly. Because you really don't want to fall behind on the back foot to Rakano, especially when you're on the play and you have an opportunity to, gain initiative. Looking at Praxia, I like that they have two Desert Marshals. Desert Marshal is a great way to, keep up in a game that's about proactivity, right? It kind of stems Stormguard from being too proactive. Desert Marshal in particular also just plays well into this Iron Priestess, so you don't have Valor, you don't get the weapon. But it looks like Prac is going to start with a Dino Nest. I like this overall. The one risk it does run into is if Stormguard has an Oni Insider, it's kind of a blowout, a tempo blowout. But it looks like in this case, Storm does not have that, and so the Dinosaur Nest could really do a lot.
Yeah, interesting that Stormguard is on the play both games.
Oh, Stormguard is on the play, right? I always forget that the challenges are like this, right? Well, that is really gonna do a lot for Stormguard. Rakano on the play is Rakano's good all the time, but Rakano on the play is extra good. It's
Agreed.
extra strong. Just like initiative is so important in this format in general, but also just with this deck.
And just
yeah,
what you were
see
talking
there?
about, there's the
Ooh,
tempo. And actually,
brutal.
it wasn't even, off the top random. I bet that's what Orlin went and fetched.
Oh yeah, it is. I like that. I like that from Stormguard. It's getting rid of the most one of the scariest things on Prak's board.
Absolutely.
Finest Hour here. It's gonna give Prak a favorable block. Getting rid of the Olin. I like that play, Prak, in the sense of right now, Prak needs to be blocking for the most part, not necessarily attacking. But this Fierce Magniventress, is gonna flip the script a little bit, letting them get in with Crownwatch Paladin.
And we see the Dino not attacking this turn, which is going to stop that Inferno Phoenix from potentially even coming down here because it can't get in.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's super heads up. I that's very heads up thinking by Prackalakin thing. So what is one of the ways that I really get super far behind? One of those ways is Inferno Phoenix. Granted, they do have Desert Marshals, but it's a very easy way to just protect against that without having to commit the Desert Marshal right away. So I like that. It's very smart, and it kind of plays into their sequencing really nicely.
Agreed. That was definitely worthwhile misdamage.
Yeah, we got an attack here. Makes sense. He's the Crownwatch Paladin's not really blocking, so should be attacked. Another one, holding up Desert Marshal. I like Prak's Spawn. This attack Inferno Phoenix not gonna go very well. Unfortunately
this
for Storm.
Desert Marshal is doing a ton of work with the silence here.
Yeah, that's what I would describe the blowout. Yeah, definitely rough. And there's another Desert Marshal waiting in the wings. Prackalakin has a lot of insurance in case something wild occurs.
Okay, Lunar Claw tries to find something in the hand to stop, but can't.
I don't hate that. The one thing I would think about is maybe is killing the Varbrook better than like getting something out of trying to get something out of Storm's hand? I'm trying to think about how many targets there are. It would be like right, like Torch, Finest Hour, um, just Torch and Finest Hour. Do you think a Torch or a Finest Hour would be like a really good grab here for them?
Yeah, I think getting the Varbok off the field is actually probably better in that spot because potentially you could clean up the Oni Insider with the second attack of the weapon.
Right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. And you get two things off the board. One like a really big thing, and then another incidental thing.
But it is
Varbrook.
also good peace of mind to just know that your opponent has no tricks.
That's true. It definitely, in terms of information, that could be definitely relevant, right? Like you have the like actual information that if your opponent does like have a spell, they would have had to draw it, like as their top deck, so less likely to. Um,
That top decked Magnaventurous, wow, what a swing.
yeah, yeah, and Prackalakin is able to control the board really effectively in that game. The Desert Marshals played a big role. Drawing two Magniventuresses, that always helps. That card's great. I mean, that's one of the reasons why some of the Rakano decks play Olin. It's the idea that you have more virtual copies of a card like Magniventress or Varbrook, depending on what's important, or even Oni Insider, like we saw in that game to get rid of the dinosaur nest. But yeah, definitely multiples of Furious Magniventress are pretty brutal, and one of the marquee ways of winning in this have more Magniventress than your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we see in game number 2. So we're all tied up. And the only thing I think that I know about this next match is that it's going to be quick.
For sure. And we look at this hand for Storm, and a little bit awkward with the Olin here. Just looking at that, we don't have the second Just Source necessarily. We wouldn't be able to play it until turn 4, but it looks like we're gonna start by contracting a Dasher, which I like in this matchup, especially because especially when you're on the play, because Prac doesn't have like Defiance or like ways to answer it super efficiently without like trading another hit, which you're usually okay with.
Wow. Well, if you like the first, nope,
Ooh,
we're not going to play another
endless
dash. Or
steps.
endless steps.
I like getting endless steps down. I mean, this is a card that's like hard for Prac to deal with generally, and it's creating a huge attacker. And getting it down sooner means you get to the what's the unit called that it gets? I can't remember. That the 3/3. Anyways, it gets you to the unit quicker. uh, Gosh, I can't even read. Never mind.
Terra.
Tara,
Right, Tara,
right.
Tara.
Yeah,
Right.
getting to Tara early. I mean, Tara is a really, really strong card, so I think getting to that earlier is super valuable. But we're getting a ton of damage. Oh my gosh, wait, is Procker all the way down to 7? Is that what I see? That's 17. I can't
No,
remember.
it's 7.
It's 7? Oh my gosh.
And
That
now
is a
Storm
lot of damage.
has an interesting choice. Okay, they're going to use the Stairs Eyes to get the second Justice to get Olin online.
Wow, and you were right about this being lightning quick. This is just super fast. That's a Furious Magniventress. Off the top.
Okay, but still 2 is not 3, and that Endless Steps is still doing work.
So if we play a, let me think. So you could Styre's Eyes. If you play Styre's Eyes, discard a card, target itself with Crown Watch tactic, and then Dasher it. Yeah. So Prac doesn't have power open to use a Desert Marshal. I think that would be lethal, right? Or no, it wouldn't be.
It's
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be
no,
because it would move
it's
the pump
not
away.
lethal because of the armor.
It's it's close. Oh,
It's
there's
very
armor.
close.
Right.
Oh, and also when you play the second Dasher,
Yeah. That's
it's
what I was
gonna
saying.
take
Yeah,
away
yeah.
the buff off of the.
Yeah, probably still a strong play. Anyway, it's still getting 6 in on its own, right?
Right.
So I think it makes sense. And you have like another unit coming off of stun soon.
Taking away the armor off of the away from the Magnaventress also lets the Magnaventress makes it more difficult for the Magnaventress to crack back.
Okay, so another Styre's Eyes. I imagine that will watch tactic just to gain some health back. But maybe we want a Langregg influence power. Yeah, so we're gonna go for the Crown Watch tactic to pad our life total. That makes sense.
So
Interesting.
this is very interesting. They're giving up potentially to leave the site alive, but the Gavel's Insight would have killed the site if Storm had decided to block because of the overwhelm. So I like that play a lot, allowing Stormguard to potentially lose one of those blockers and still threatening the site for full damage.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that we didn't just use the flyer to attack it. I guess it makes, this the sequence here a little bit better for Prack, but I don't know.
I think Prack is trying to have as many units back to block as possible, and that's why we only attacked with the Magnaventress. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. That makes sense. Ooh.
Parapet Sentry off the top takes down a blocker and does 4 damage to the face. That's pretty huge.
It could be. I will say that there are, it looks like, at least one or two, those Helenas in Prack's hand. Looks like it.
Yep, 2 Helenas and a Desert Marshal.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting a lot closer than it looked initially. These Helenas are going to do a lot of work, I think.
A lot of work. Storm looks like was trying to go wide, but Prack is matching him almost unit for unit.
Yeah. In this case, I guess what would Storm's out? How would Storm be able to get through this? I'm struggling to think because, like, I feel like they would need a lot.
A Magnaventress, any kind of removal or stun to get through. Although the Desert Marshal here, wow.
Oh, we're going for an all-out attack, and I'm sorry to say I'm not sure this is going to go very well.
It's gonna do some damage. I mean, Prack is down to 6, and
yeah, this attack does go pretty wide.
Prack can't block everything. He can block 5 units, which I think he has to.
Yeah, I believe he does because, yeah. Right now, 4 is getting through.
Yeah, okay. 4 is getting through. The board is getting pretty cleaned up. And now Stormguard is just a torch away. I like that attack. I think he needed to make that attack there.
Yeah, right. I think, yeah, I mean, the attack's a lot better if there isn't Desert Marshal. Even though Prack is, representing it. I mean, I think Prack is heavily incentivized to do that anyway. So if you're looking at Storm's perspective, it's probably just like, gotta make them have it. And they did have it. Here's a Lunar Claw. Does this do anything? You can get rid of the Javen, I suppose.
No, it gets blown out by Finest Hour. There is no good outcome off of this, unfortunately.
Oh no. Brutal.
That was huge. Absolutely worth trying. Now Prack has very close to lethal with that Helena still in hand.
That's gonna be a lot of damage.
It's 11 coming across. Why are we not attacking with the Magnaventress? Interesting. Yeah, no, we definitely should.
Is there actually any reason to block? I guess there could be another Finest Hour or something, right?
So interesting that we chumped with a Dasher instead of the Iron Priestess, because the Iron Priestess would have at least made a weapon. I mean, I don't know what that weapon would have done.
But yeah, in any case, Stormguard was a little too far behind in that one, and Prackalakin takes it.
Yeah, Desert Marshal saving the day and taking Prac to the finals. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Well
congrats
played
to
by both
Pratt.
players.
Yeah, I mean, I think Desert Marshal is, really good, like I was saying, and it made a huge difference in that game.
Absolutely. So Combray is in the finals, and it looks like we actually are we have our brackets all set up. It's going to be Game Grump against Prackalakin.
All right.
So looks like we're just gonna watch the same match we just did. Another Combray versus Ricano.
Right on, right on.
All right,
Yeah, that sounds like
we're gonna take a quick short break and then come back for the finals where we'll see Prackalakin against Game Grump.